Because the humanity as we see today has developed from a pre-human existence. The pre-human species is extinct today. There is no pre-human. We have, like knowledge about chimpanzee and all, but there is no real historical evidence. So there is no, descendants of Neanderthal man today in the world. So what happened to this pre-human? That is a worry which we may have to talk when you are thinking about the fourth industrial revolution. I just read a quote from Karl Jaspers, who in his Man in Modern Age has made this observation. What lifted our forefathers about the animal world was the persistent and not merely fortuitous use of tools, making and utilization of power, birth of language, and control of sexual jealousy sufficient to render popular comradeship and the foundation of the durable societies. In fact, the pre-human were not able to use language. They cannot use actually, many things that we use in the world today. Pre-human existence was, between animal and man. Man have the ability to use knowledge and shape up their life, but pre-humans cannot use knowledge because they have no language that has been used for communication. Yesterday there was a very interesting paper that Russian scholar who was reading a paper on this, like the appropriation of language and how that created a kind of, what you call the language communication. See, after getting language in their control, humans developed different systems. For example, if you take the Greek philosophy and Indian philosophy as a point of departure. So Aristotle says that the thought, human thought, has the power to reach the highest realms, and thought is what controls the whole universe. Aristotle's conception of God is thought thinking itself. No, it's okay. So thought thinking itself. So Indian conception, in the pre-industrial world, India and China have developed economic and socio-cultural system very parallel, very different from the Western system. And they had the conception of karma. So I tried to intellectualize or understand what is called the Kriyamana karma, Agamika karma, because we get Sanchita karma from somewhere, we don't know where it is. But but we can work with the Agamika karma. Okay? This is the area where we can work and create, be creative in our work. And the creative work was highly appreciated in our systems. For example, Mimamsikas consider creativity is the supreme way, the regal way to reach heaven or moksha. Okay? So this conception was actually very Asian in nature. In India, the system was functional through the caste system. Okay? As caste system is not as a racial segregation thing, but caste system as a system to divide wealth. The same system was not there in the Western tradition. In China, in Japan, they had similar systems to divide wealth based on work. For example, in the Indian context, we have karma intellectualized in such a way that according to Gita, for no one can remain even for a moment without doing work. Everyone is made to act helplessly by the impulses born of nature. So in fact, this is actually been intellectualized, philosophized, and created a kind of, a kind of paradigm or a structure for creative work. And creative work was highly appreciated in our system. For example, a master carpenter, he creates an object like a chair or a coat for a particular customer looking at his requirement. Okay? And he has his group of carpenters, his community of carpenters, learning from him the creative activity of work. Okay? The society, for example, the social system, would help him to continue doing his creative work. What is called Raja Dharma, okay, Nirupa Dharma, or whatever it is. Same thing is there in Chinese tradition. See, Indian cultural space, Jambu Diva or whatever it is, Chinese cultural space, it includes the nation states of China, Korea, Vietnam, Japan, what the Japanese or the people in that part, East Asia, call the land of Kanchi. Okay? So they have similar culture. In Taoism, they have the same activity of work. See, the same activity of creative work. Each person's creative work contribute to other person's works. There is a kind of what in Japanese very simply called uchi. Uchi means their home. They work together. They keep learning from their work. And in Taoism there is the conception of Taoistic sage ruler. He is an invisible man, help all others to do their work. He never come in front, he stay behind. In today's Japanese corporate culture, we can see a little bit of this. In any way, so in Chinese cultural space also, creative work was highly appreciated. And highly, like the creative process has always started from a kind of structural system, which in Japanese they call shu no ko sho. So in that, shu means the group of samurais or rulers. No means no-gyonin, or people who do agriculture, farmers, and ko means artisan, and sho means trader. So in Japanese tradition, actually the trader is in the last ring in the society, but they are actually complementing each other, in fact. Because of the protection given by the samurai, a farmer can work, an artisan can create things, a trader can move around, like these are mostly complementary. So this kind of systems were in Asia in the pre-industrial period. But in the industrial period, what happened is, See, I have written a paper, but if I read it, 15 minutes is not enough, no? So I will explain what it is. The industrial period, according to the history written by Communist Manifesto written by Karl Marx, actually Karl Marx is not the father of communism or anything, no? The communism was started in Europe after the Industrial Revolution. Industrial Revolution has replaced a system then existed of what we call feudals and serfs. And the Protestant Reformation and Renaissance and Enlightenment movement replaced what you call the feudal oligarchy. Then the serfs and others got more power with industrialization. The people who can get the knowledge of industrialization could control the wealth, and they were known as bourgeoisie, and a lot of people, serfs who was liberated, couldn't get hold of the wealth. They become proletariat. So proletariat has no access or control to the wealth. This was a big problem in Western tradition. I mean, like in the West. And what happened is that when these revolutions have happened, the communist movement actually didn't have an idea how to address this problem. Because just imagine it, the situation is like that. I'm an educated man. I got educated in industrial engineering and business, and I start a company, I make a lot of product, I become very rich. Okay? My brother has not studied at all. He is in the village. He cannot do even agriculture work like before. He, in the same family, there is a bourgeoisie and a proletariat. This happened in this society, and it divided the society downsize. But when capitalism started after the Protestant Reformation, the catchword was providence of God. The capitalist will provide, creating jobs for others. But according to Karl Marx, in fact, capital used every nefarious method to control wealth. And in my case, I try to push my brother out of my house, make him poor like anything. So that is why the dialectics between bourgeoisie and proletariat become very real in the first industrial revolution. Second industrial revolution was changed the whole discourse. The world was divided. I mean, first industrial revolution and accumulation of wealth by the bourgeoisie countries, Britain and France, for example, they want to show, they want to pounce their wealth over the world. World War started. If you look at it in this way, the history of World War. World War started, 1 and 2 started, and it actually destroyed a lot of wealth created. The second industrial revolution was recreation of wealth. But at that time, the dialectics changed. The countries, the nation state, divided into two, communist bloc and capitalist bloc. Capitalist bloc started to control. The second revolution ended in the destruction of the communist bloc countries. Then we have the third revolution started in 1980s, computerization, automatization. And now we are in the third industrial revolution, automatization. But according to Charles Berg, the fourth industrial revolution actually reduced the number of work. Nobody will be doing any creative work. If at all you are doing a work, you are only just supporting a machine to run. If you go to a department store in Japan, a person sitting in the cash counter just read the barcode, and then you give some money or card, you feed it to the machine, and then just give a bill. She is only just appending a machine. See, when the Industrial Revolution started, or even the pre-industrial time, they used to use tools. But tools were under the control of man. Now we are controlled by machines. And according to this man, and there are several books written on this theme, and they say that there is no need for humans to work. He really said in this book, if you want I can quote it from him. He says that in future, maybe 10% of work that we have here today will be available for everyone. So which means the creative work will actually get destroyed. My worry is not that the economic problem, because I am very sure that in future they may not be in India, but maybe partially in India, but in developed countries like in Japan and other places, Japan and other places, this will be more petrifying. It will give, less chance. See, the social, economic and cultural decadence in the country is unimaginable, in my view, maybe Sensei's view, because we are really worried about the young generation. So you go to a college, you teach all this nonsense to students, and we cannot say that you don't get a job, no? Or if at all you get a job, you will get it for 5 years. There is a study by the American labor, some organization. They say that the available job today is for 5 years. You should understand, most of the professors here work nearly 20, 30, 40 years and getting pension. You get no pension. You get 5 years work. And then you have to search for another work. This is a reality, this is happening in our eyes. So what will happen is something I think philosophers has to discuss. In my understanding, the fourth industrial revolution will end in this way. Most of you know about the Hebrew Bible's story about Tower of Babel. The Tower of Babel is actually built by a prosperous society. They made a city, Sinar, and a Babel Tower to reach heaven. But that time God got, little disturbed. So he took away many powers from man. He couldn't use the language proficiently as before. He could not trust the friend as he could do it before. So the human society were divided. In fact, this man says that if you want to join, you can join. Otherwise, you can stay away. But he says that this is going to fulfill our dreams, the whole dreams. It will show as the end of history. Okay? So, I am not judging anything, I am not scaremongering, but I think philosophers have to discuss these kind of topics in future. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Mathi Varghese. Now I invite Professor Islam Muhammad Sirajul to present his paper.
Honorable Chairperson of the session, Professor Jatashankar Tiwariji, other dignitaries on the dais, dear organizers, I am highly thankful to all of you, those who are keenly associated to organize this program, this conference or congress. I am especially thankful to Professor L.D. Patel for giving me privilege in this healthy gathering. My topic is relevance of the Sufi mode of thinking and living, and analysis in Indian viewpoint. So purely I have tried to make justice upon the first area of the conference. So first of all, we'll have to apprehend about Sufism. Almost we have some sort of knowledge about Sufism. Sufism is an inner movement within Islam. It is not a separate religion. They claim Islam has two aspects. One is outer aspect, another is inner aspect. Outer aspect of Islam is called Jahiri Islam, and the inner aspect of Islam is called Batini Islam. So Sufis are the people who have raised the questions against the tyrannical Muslim rulers at that time. It is quite obvious the term Sufi is not prevalent in the Holy Quran and the Hadith. Therefore, the orthodox people dislike Sufism. But egalitarian people, educated people, they are saying Sufism is the real torchbearer of Islam. Why? Because Sufis claim in the name of religion, most of the Muslim rulers, they engage to win the territory, not following the Islamic principles. Islam is not a religion for a particular community. Islam is a religion of man. In the Holy Quran, there are many indications, and the starting point of the Quran for the people, not for Muslims. 3 terms have been used in the Holy Quran, especially it is the constitutions of the Muslim people, and 3 terms, that is Nas, that is Insan and Bashar. The Surah Baqarah, 2nd verse of the Holy Quran. يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. يا أيها الناس, O human being, not Muslim. يا أيها الناس, O Muslim, O human being, not Muslim. يا أيها الناس اعبدوا, you should pray من ربكم, your Lord. الذي, for that I have been created you. الذي خلقكم من قبلكم, and your previous ancestor I have created. لعلكم تتقون, so that you will be a pious human being, not Muslim. So Sufis claim also there is another term, insan. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالْعَصْرِ. I oath in the name of Mahakalo, Shapat, taking Al-Asri, Innal Insana, indeed all human being, not Muslim. If it will be for the Muslim, Innal Muslimina, it will be so that, but not for all human beings. Ya ayyuhan nas, and Innal Muslimina, not. So therefore, another, قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ يُوحَى إِلَيَّ أَنَّمَا إِلَٰهُكُمْ إِلَٰهٌ وَحِيدٌ قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُم. Prophet is saying in the Holy Quran, oh, I am like a human, I am human being, mislukum, like you, misal de raha. So this Islam, Sufis claim Islam is not for particular community. There are many verses in the Holy Quran that depict the idea that Islam is for entire human being. But you, the Muslim rulers, you, the Muslim mullahs and maulvis, confined. So generally it is said the Quran is the book of the Muslims. Quran is the book, unzila fihi al-Qur'ana hudal lin-nas. I have revealed this Quran, unzila fihi al-Qur'ana, this Quran, lin-nas, for human being, not lil Muslimin, not for Muslims. So that's why Sufis raised voice against the Muslim tyrannical ruler. You are busy to winning the territory, expanding your territorial framework, But it is very difficult. There is, yes, winning the territory is difficult task, but there is much more rigid and difficult task in Islam. That's not winning the territory, winning the heart of the people. Therefore, Sufis are the men of heart, not winning the territory. They are given emphasis on winning the heart of the people, irrespective of caste, creed, and religion. As a Muslim, then you will pray to mosque. As a Christian, you will pray to church. As a Hindu, you can pray to temple. But as a Sufi, there is no boundary. As a Muslim, as a Christian, as a Hindu, as a downtrodden people, each and everybody door is open for all. So Sufi are the real torchbearer of Islam. Therefore, Sufi has given a reply. If it is not in the Holy Quran and not in the Hadith, why will follow it? Rigid Muslim people, they are saying, raise question again. There are, though the term Sufi is not in the Holy Quran, there are many synonymous terms. Uli or awliya, mendicants, friends of God or Allah, fakir, fakirun, there is in the Holy Quran, al-faqru fakri wa naftakiru bihi in the Hadith. And karibun, proximity or nearness to God. God is saying, I am near to you than your jugular vein. Sabirin, inna al-hama sabirin. In these I am with the patient human being. So these notions implicitly, that is the mystical notion of Islam, it needs very many times. That's why I'm a little skipping it. So Sufi's notion is something different and thinking is something different. Not like the common Muslims. Their thinking is the achieving of knowledge. Sufis claim there are 4 successive stages. There is Shariat, that is Tariqat, Marifat, and Haqiqat. 4 stages. Shariat, the canon of law. Tariqat, path, way. Marifat, knowledge. Not only knowledge, gnosis. Gnosis, Marifat, that is gnosis. And Haqiqat, truth, reality, Haq. Al-Haqqa mutakashshur hatta zurtumul maqabir. Quranic, there are many terms related to it. So, Shariat, Tariqat, Marifat, and Haqiqat, these 4 stages are highly important in Sufi journey. Sufis are familiar as a salik. They travel. They're starting their travel from mundane world to the non-mundane or spiritual world. That's why their journey is highly important from the external world to the internal world. It is very difficult task for them. For what? To attain knowledge. And knowledge, there are various ways to attain knowledge. That is perceptual knowledge, or knowledge can get through words. That is ilm al-aqli. Ilm means knowledge. Aqli means through word, through perception, perceptual knowledge. Ilm al-aqli. Then another word also, ilm al-qawli. Ilm al-aqli means the knowledge, higher category knowledge, aqli, and kamli. Kamli is related to my mouth, to my words. So, shabdik gyan. There is another type of knowledge, that is ilm al-yaqeen, the knowledge of certitude. It's called al-ilham. Al-ilham, it is knowledge of certitude, direct knowledge. And there is another kind, al-ilm al-yaqeen. Yaqeen karo. That means the knowledge, superior quality of knowledge, it is called al-wahi, revealed knowledge. So, perceptual knowledge, their thinking mode is like this. Perceptual knowledge related to my word and deeds. And there is the knowledge, ainal yaqeen, the knowledge through perception. Ainal, that means chakkhus gyana, ainal yaqeen. And what? Through sabdik knowledge. And there is ilham, the higher category, discursive knowledge or gnosis. And there is another kind of knowledge which is called haqiqatullah, the knowledge of divinity, that is called revelation. So their thinking is very, that's why Rumi, the Persian well-known poet, he said, raise your word. Raise your word through your intellect, not raise your voice. Raise your word not raise your voice, because if you raise your word, it will thunder rain. If you raise your voice, it will give rain. If you raise your voice, it will give thunder to you. So there is a difference. So raise your word, not raise your voice. That is the very, this concept is related to the concept of Tawheed. Tawheed means monotheistic reality. This monotheism is the essential desire of Sufism. Apprehend the monotheism, that means not only the worship, it is practicing, the practical aspect of Islam. That's why practicing is very important. This practice is very important in the sense that you have to apprehend the knowledge of reality, knowledge of God, divine knowledge, knowledge of truth, and it is highly resembled to other religions. There is monotheistic concept in the Upanishad also. Ekam Brahma Ditya Nasti Sarvam Kholu Idam Brahma. So monotheistic concept Isavash Muridang Sarvam Jatkinchit Jaguttam Tena Taktena Bhunjita Mahridha Kaschit Annadhanam. So Isavash everywhere, one reality. We are created from one reality, then diverted in different aspects. Holy Quran says this. So this is the notion, but very few people considering the knowledge. There is notion of both controversial knowledge, wahdatul wujud and wahdatul shuhud. Unity in being and unity in weakness. That's why pantheistic knowledge, and there is unity in weakness. Shahadatul knowledge is also they are searching by the Sufis. And very important is the discharging the reality or entering, encompassing the reality through discharging the concept of love. This love is not phenomenal concept of love. This love is called ishq. Al ishq hai ishq jahan dekho sara alam mein fir raha hai ishq. God, why God created this universe? He has no need, but this is ananda rupa mitang jat vibhati, like the Hinduism. Also God, it is when he asks to the body of angels, ana khalaqtul adama ala al-arj, I am interested to create human being in the world. That's why, do you know? La ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimun hakim. The body of angels said, La ilma lana, we have no knowledge, illa ma 'allamtana, what knowledge you have not given? Innaka antal alimun hakim. Indeed, you are the omniscient entity. That's why our aspect is only to attain your mercy, attain your loving attitude. Love in the Quran, the term is not prevalent in the Holy Quran also, but it is not in the Holy Quran, but the notion of mahabbat is there. Mahabbatu minni, qul in kuntum tuhibbuna Allah fattabi'uni. If you want to love God, then love me first, Prophet saying. So, qul in kuntum tuhibbuna Allah fattabi'uni, Quranic idea. So, love is the basic concept. And for what? Why? Love for God and love for humanity. Somebody asked, and mullahs also asked the Sufis, so what is religion? Religion is deen, not appropriate to religion. It is deen, much more resembled to dharma. Dharma is the way of life, and Islam is also the way of life. Therefore, it is not just religion, it is attaining the consciousness power. And how? What is religion? Ask somebody. And Khaja Mainuddin Chishti asked somebody to him, what is religion? Nijamuddin Auli also said, the religion is deen. Religion, tariqat. Tariqat, it is a path, it is a way that we help to elevate in the higher stage. Tariqat bajuj khidmat khalq nist ba tasbih sujad wa dilak nist. Tariqat is nothing. It is service of humanity, irrespective of caste, creed and religion. That is religion, where we will not confine to any sectarianism. That's why it is highly important to them. And the controlling of the mind, it is called nafs. In the Holy Quran, there are 3 categories of nafs. Nafs al-ammara, how many minutes? 5 minutes. I will complete it in 5 minutes. So, in the Holy Quran, there are 3 successive stages of soul. It is called nafs. Nafs nafs al-ammara, nafs al-lawwama, nafs al-mutmainna. Nafs. Therefore, nafs is highly important. Nafs al-ammara is the carnal nafs, carnal soul, desirous soul. Nafs al-ammara. And nafs al-lawwama, the rational soul. Its position is something higher. Rational soul, which can able to attain discursive knowledge, rational knowledge. And thereafter, the nafs al-mutmainna, that is perfect soul. It is called direct knowledge, directly derived from the reality. It's called al-ilm, not al-ilm, al-uhi, higher category of knowledge. That's why nafs al-ammara, nafs al-lawwama, nafs al-mutmainna, soul has three tripartite section. Gradually, it is starting from the lower stage and elevating the higher stage for the purity of heart. Purity of heart. Purity of heart does not only mean the purity of my heart. Purity of heart means your activities, your behavior, your character, your deeds, your thinking must be pure. That's why Sufis are much more disciplined and much more ethical practitioner, so that I can pure and at the same time I will discharge love to pure you, not only confined to for my emancipation, at the same time I will help to attain the emancipation to all human beings. So as a Hindu, as a Muslim, that's why they are saying, Harkera yar nist, Aijadura yar bud. Those who have no friendship, God will be the friend of thee. That's why nist Hindu arche ke dindar chuma hast bashi jai bakarar chuma. Though Hindu are not worshipping like me, hast bashi jai bakarar chuma, but they have their own faith, which faith we also belong. Sufis claim. That's why in Bengali, Lalan Fakir also said, Mormon China jete Makkah Modina. This is my religion, it is not really ritualistic religion. It is non-ritualistic religion. It is the relation of loving relationship. In Orthodox Islam, the relation between man and God is like Banda and Lord, Lord and servant. But in Sufism, the relationship is just like lover and beloved. When relationship between the Lord and servant, there is the gap, higher and lower category. But lover and beloved relationship, there is no gap, but meeting together. It is called fanafillah or baqabillah, annihilation in God and persistence in God for the service of humanity. That's why they are saying, Mormon China jete Makkah Modina. I am not interested for Makkah or Modina. ওই যে বন্ধু আমার আছে, the friend who is with me, আমি রইজি আমি তারই কাছে, I am within him always. আমার নেই মন্দির কি মসজিদ, I have no mosque, I have no temple. আমার নেই মন্দির কি মসজিদ, পূজা কি বকরিদ, I have no worship, I have no sacrifice. পলে পলে মোর মক্কা কাশী, তিলে তিলে মোর মক্কা কাশী, পলে পলে মদিনা. Each and every moment I am in Makkah and Kashi, I am in Makkah and Medina. No more Mormon China jete Makkah Medina. I am the worshipper of reality. That's why it is very important. The Sufi humanism and Khidmat Khalq is highly important. That's why they are saying, and Rumi also saying, I am neither Hindu nor a Muslim. I am neither in India nor in Saksin. I am neither confined to any particular territory. I am the small particle of the divinity. Therefore, I would like to unite myself with that reality. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Professor. Now I invite Professor Zhang Jijil from South Korea.
Hello everyone, my name is Jae-jin Jang. I'm from South Korea. Holistic thinking and practice ethics symbolized by trigram of Junghwa Sutra. Introduction. Junghwa Sutra is a scripture written by Kang Jeong-san, a modern Korean thinker in the Empire of Korea. Junghwa Sutra seems to have supplemented and reorganized Confucianism thought. Jeong-san seems to have oriented to integrated religious pluralism as he evenly accepted three religions, including Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism. Confucianism, Buddhism, and Taoism are included in this scripture. Especially, he tried to suggest a circular thinking and a practical plan for the future through the trigram of the Book of Change. The preceding world is based on the structure of Hado and Naksar, where conflict, irrationality, and concoction and greed were created. Jeongsan wanted to develop a new world through the ceremonial act of Cheonji Gongsa. To overcome previous problems, this world is the ideal one to be developed by the righteous order. Asian perspective on holistic mode of thinking and the ways of living appear in Chunghwa Sutra. For example, among the 64 trigrams of the Book of Change, 8 trigrams, 화산녀, 지수사, 레수해, 이리화, 천택리, 택레수, 풍레익, 산레이 trigram was expressed as poem. In other words, it is expressed as a poem with two pairs of poems as one, but it is merely poetry in general terms. However, if you look closely, there is a name included that expresses each trigram in this poem. Holistic mode of thinking and the way of living were reflected in the interpretation of a principle of the protagonist. For example, if you live in a house built of gold and jade, consider it as if you are staying in a lodge for a while. Next. In this phrase, unlike the general interpretation, the new meaning implied in the trigram of the Book of Change can be understood in the following way. The Bang is one of the 28 lunar mansions constellation in the sky. Leo is one of them. The Bang means that Lum is the place where people live. Therefore, when the mind and body, which are usually treated as one, are stabilized, they become a more comfortable place than a dwelling place that is decorated with materials. Leo, corresponding to Bang, is the 56th symbol of I Ching. It symbolizes the sun on the mountain. The sun on the mountain has the meaning of the sun that welcomes the new days. Meaning of the sunset that finishes the day. And it is the meaning of a horn in the deep night mountain, and the meaning of the light that is illuminated to an ascetic in dim night. The mountain means quietness, and the light means the performer who burns the heart. A true traveler looks back as traces he has seen when he sees a colorful and comfortable house. This is because the hole where the body is resting is not the true house, but the house where the mind is resting is the most comfortable house. The remaining 7 symbols have similar meanings. Therefore, the ideology is embodied in the symbol of Chunghwa Sutra as a symbol logic that a harmonious world will be opened when everyone has clear mind and bright mind. Holistic thinking can be perceived on the basis of Jung and Hua. Practice ethics will be possible through awareness and actions that make the body and the mind feel comfortable and relaxed. In general, the relation between nature and human beings can be classified into human consciousness about nature, human dominance about nature, and harmony between nature and human, the tendency of thinking to subordinate nature to humans have been widespread since the epoch of epistemology was emerged as the subject of philosophy in the Western world. Since the dualization of mental and substances has been philosophically established, it has been requested under the name of science to explore the laws that are inherent in nature, and humans have been trying to find out the laws of this great machine through science and use it in their lives. However, one of the thinkers of the modern era, Jeongsan, recorded in the Junga Sutra a plan to realize a world in which nature and people would live harmoniously, breaking away from the dichotomy of mind and the matter, and the dichotomy between nature and humanity. Thus, the author wanna explain theory of Oriental history formed through the Book of Change, and then wants to describe the relationship between the sign and the symbol and the holistic idea of nature and the human. The original meaning of the trigram. Pass. Page 5, please. One more. Yes. A holistic thought embodied in trigram and the constellation of Junga Sutra. In this scripture, trigrams are expressed in poetry. In this poem, constellation and trigrams are represented by metaphors. The star represented here is one of 28 constellations, and the trigram mentioned in this poem is one of the 64 trigrams of the Book of Change. First, Ryo and Su consider staying at a house made of jewels as an inn to stay for a while, and consider living frugally in a house made of moss stone as a teacher. Scorpio star is the star, corresponding to spring star in 28 star. A room is a place where people live, therefore the room where the peace of mind and body is filled is a more comfortable place than a room decorated with physical splendor. There is the 56th of the Book of Change. It symbolizes the sun of the mountain. The trigram that emphasizes of the Kairos perspective is Leo. The trigram has the meaning of the leaving the place because it is on fire on the mountain that does not move. Even if it is difficult situation, it means to be prosperous when you get moderate. You have to get all the things of the world in time. Pegasus star corresponds to winter star of 28 star. At the end of a star, it means to finish the splendid energy and to contain the fortune. That symbolizes winter energy. Sa is the seventh of the Book of Change. There is water under the ground. To use water, you need to make a well, and the well will save a lot of people. Second, He and Li. Who can untie the tails of the tangled string? The matching heart of a bamboo, flute, and harp is not falling apart. The Sagittarius constellation is a star equivalent to the spring star of 28 star. The Sagittarius constellation has the meaning of a tail and back. The tail symbolizes Wei Qi, and the back symbolize Qi Qi 30. He corresponds to the pulse of book of change. He has the meaning of being solved and the meaning of loosening arrestment. He is a trigram that emphasizes the importance of time. Everything is not in difficulty until the end. He means that each other is sunny by communicating the energy of each other rather than releasing the chain of redemption. Emancipation in the natural world appears to be the rise of thunderstorms, and hence the growth of grasses and trees. Liberation begins by consensus and communicating with each other. Scorpio star is the star corresponding to spring star in 28 lunar mansions. Scorpio star is a star symbolizing the mind. Li corresponding to the 30th of the main, the book of change. Next. Fourth, holistic thinking and practice ethics. The question of how to recognize the nature of the outside world surrounding human beings and how to define the relationship between human beings and nature becomes an important point to look at human thought patterns. Human thinking will be very much defined by the form of existence of the natural environment. This union of humanity and nature is called the unity of heaven and human. The Book of Change was a book emphasizing this relationship. There is a view to say that the Book of Change is created in accordance with the nature that has the purpose of making man follow nature. In this view, there is an ethical view that conforming to nature is a good act. Adapting to nature or taking nature as an example is a way of thinking that considers human beings and nature not as a completely different heterogeneous confrontation, but rather as the different aspect of the same thing. The idea of unity of heaven and human beings, that is, the unity between the human world and the order of universal nature world, appears in Mencius' word. Mencius says, "If you follow your heart, you will know your nature. If you know your nature, you will know the heaven." This passage seems to mean that the human mind and the mind of heaven communicate with each other. The completing relationship between man and nature is said in the idea of unity of heaven and man. But this conflict is based on the view that it is a completing situation under the premise that the relationship between man and nature cooperate with each other. This is because human beings are based on the basic recognition that they originate from nature. This view clearly reveals the view that man is the subject of the universe. The idea of Zhengsan, which aims to harmonize the whole world, is revealed through the trigram of the Junga Sutra, Scorpio Sutra, Pegasus Sutra, and so on, correspond to Liu, Su, and so on. If you look at the following heaven and earth, there is no movement other than moving or stopping and circulating movement. Heaven and earth are one thing, and yin and yang and one thing. If you look at my being in a big way, it is like the meaning of heaven and earth. And if you look at it finally, you have a sense of insect and vegetation. And there is a sense of ghost and trees of things brightly. Human beings are members of nature, but they are also the most outstanding ones of all. Heaven does not violate the will of the true man, but true men accept the will of heaven. In the heading of moderation, there is a passage saying, when neutralization occurs, heaven and earth take their place, and all things in it grows well. The ideal world which Jeongsan wanted to realize is a world where everyone can achieve 중통인이 and can be positioned as a universal existence. This is the ideal world where everyone can reach the world of 시중화. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. Now, discussion questions are invited for 15 minutes.
Let me first congratulate all the presenters, all the speakers who have presented their papers nicely, and they have done a tremendous job in presenting it. My question goes to the second speaker, Sirazul. Just I am forgetting his name. Anyway, he has given a very nice presentation, and I am congratulating him from the core of my heart. And this, I would like to inform one more thing, that though there are so many things are in Islam, and he is very much right that there is a opposite trends going on in Islam and Sufism, and the basic reason is this, that they have not tried to accommodate the things in their Islamic fold or in their own thinking. And this is the reason the entire Upanishads and Gita and all these things that went to Arabian countries, when it was translated by Dara Shikoh, he was slain only because he had done a work of a kafir. So many religious books, Upanishads, Vedas, Gitas, and so many, he knows much better than me, has went to Arabian countries, and there they assimilated this thought and started this Sufism. And you will find the reflection of so many Indian thoughts in their verses, as if he says, दुई का तज़करा तौहीद में पाया नहीं जाता, जहाँ मेरी रसाई है मेरा साया नहीं जाता, किसी से मेरी मंजिल का पता पाया नहीं जाता. He is talking about Advaitism there. But he cannot speak directly, because when Mansur said Anal Haq, he was slain. Secondly, you will find one more thing, thereafter I will, he says, मैं तुझे पाने की हरदम जुफ्तजू करता रहूं, सबसे तेरे प्यार की मैं गुफ्तगू करता रहूं, राज हक की नेमतें बख्शी है जो मेरे लिए, रात दिन उसकी नुमाइश चारसू करता रहूं. और लास्ट स्टेजेस, मैं तू बनूं तू रहे, तुझ में समाऊं इस तरह, भूल जाऊं खुद को मैं, बस तू ही तू करता रहूं. These are the statements which are giving a very holistic picture of the Sufist thoughts. That's all I want to say. This was my comment. There is no any question. Thank you.
With regards to all the speakers, my question is related with this question. So definitely Sufism is a philosophy of love, and we in Indian culture, we also have a similar thought as he has mentioned. My question is, who is going to teach this philosophy of love to Muslims? Because actually who is going to teach this philosophy of love to Muslims? Because so far as I know, this is not a part of syllabus of madrasas, or you can say to Islamic institutions. So who will take the responsibility to teach this philosophy of love to all the Muslims in this contemporary scenario, as we have taken the responsibility to teach Gita to all the students in our classes? This is my question. Thank
you. Sir, the road from Shariat to Marfat, is that the road where you require a Paigambar, or you can go on your own? From Shariat to Marfat, the road of spiritual progress, do you require, according to Sufism, a teacher, a paigambar, or you don't?
First, my question is, sir, how do you divide the industrial revolution, first stage, second, third? Any periodical divisions are there? One thing I want to know. Then, my question, Professor Nurul, what will be the future of Sufism through the Wahhabis? Is there any possibilities for war with any problem for Sufis? One thing, how many Muslims are in this world? How many, just like Sufis, Shia, Sunni, totally, what is the number of Islam in this world?
My question also goes to Dr. Siraj. Actually, his presentation was very emotional, because 2 days ago, before coming here, I was attended 2 days program in Islam. So when I was talking about Hinduism, many scholars from Islamic tradition were looking me very strangely. Yeah. So because I already told that it sounds very emotional, and of course we need to find out the way what we talking about the collaboration in Hinduism and Islam. Collaboration, I mean collaboration in Hinduism and the Islam. In theoretically, every Islamic scholar says that we are equal, but the tradition in Islam or Christianity, they holds monotheistic tradition, and in Hinduism we have the polytheistic tradition. So how you will collaborate and will make sure that Islam will accept the Hinduism? This is my question.
Hello, I have two questions. One for Professor Matthew. Sir, the problem of creativity or novelty, I mean, it has a tradition in philosophy. Like Henry Bergson tries to bring about creativity as in temporal heterogeneity, as in duration. So what in your view is the creative work? Like how do we understand creativity per se? And one for Professor Muhammad Sirajul. Sir, is there a in Sufism, can there be a critical engagement with Islam, like songs, poetry, love? These are one expressions. So can there be a critical engagement, as in even refuting some of the teachings in Quran? So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Question is on Sufism, sir. Is there any methodological steps to attain to the highest according to Sufism? Let's in Hinduism, they say Pradama Pradima Puja, Jabastotrani Madhyama, Uttamam Manasi Puja, Soham Uttotama. That means the first level of person who's going towards the path of the divine needs some idol or something like that to concentrate. When he goes to the next step, he does not need idol, when concentrates more on japa and all those things. And the next step, he goes to Manasi Puja. Sitting here, I can think about Kashi Vishwanath. And the last step, he talks about the Soham, that Andaratmani inside. And there is one more step which is not mentioned in the sloga. After that, which you have mentioned, Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. So that is why I believe that Sri Ramakrishna used to go to Kali temple even after his realization. So is there any such steps? Because generally there is a tendency that Hinduism is categorized as ritualistic, but it is only one part of it. So is there any methodological steps or categories in Sufism? I would like to know, sir. Thank you.
So my question is to Sufi Islam. Why could Sufi Islam why did it not become a dominant tradition in Islam? This is the real question for me. And another question is that once I remember Dr. Ambedkar criticized Islam, that the brotherhood of Islam is for the Muslims only. Brotherhood of the Islam is for the fellow Muslims only. It is not for the all human beings. How would you react to that according to Sufi Islam?
Good afternoon to everyone. Actually, it's not my question. I have reasons and I just want some clarifications. So first question to you, sir. I'm a little bit confused, so kindly eliminate it. What were the resolutions suggested by you to eliminate or rectify the bad impacts of fourth industrial revolutions? It's to you. And second clarifications I want from Muhammad Sirajul Islam, sir. I just want to know what is the basic difference between the two words ishq and muhabbat. Are they synonyms or is there any difference between the two? And third one, sir, I'm forgetting your name. Excuse me, sir. Your paper seemed to me that you were correlating it to astrology part. Some of the parts were related to astrology. So did you do that? If yes, then how it is related to astrology? It seems like Sagittarius and Scorpio, and you were talking about some signs, and you know, I don't know actually, so I'm a little bit confused. It is related to ethical practice or something to astrology, so kindly clarify it. So I just want three clarifications to all of you. Thank you.
Professor Matthews. Yes. Professor Matthews, my question for you. You spoke about industrial revolution. So my question is whether this industrial revolution, whether good or bad, is it karma or not? And if it is karma, then what is karma for?
Excuse me, please ask question to one scholar, let him finish and then you can ask question to other scholar for 5 minutes, and then some comments from chairman also, then we will finish in time because the other session also will be.
See, if the industrial revolution first, second, third and fourth, there are so many historical perspectives connected with it. And my understanding of this is my contribution. Okay? The first industrial revolution reduced the ability of human work, creative work, and ended in accumulation of wealth into the hand of nation states. They started a war. The war was inevitable. They destroyed all the wealth created. Then the second revolution started with another thing, a Cold War, where countries were divided. The first industrial revolution, the dialectics was between bourgeoisie and proletariat. The second was the dialectics between communists and capitalists. The third is between the digitalization and the accumulation of wealth into the hands of few people, where there is a precariat and plutocrats generated. The dialectics between part-time workers and plutocrats, means the super rich people, started. So this is how I divided it. It's a part of my forthcoming book. So maybe I will get it published soon. The second, creativity, is actually, with the industrialization, if you look at the pin factory theory of Adam Smith, you can understand, pre-industrial world, when they made a pin, they used a pin maker's creativity. But when the pin factory started, the pin maker became only a, what do you call it, a hammer pusher or something. He cannot actually apply his. Second, creativity reduced and reduced And I combined that question from her. Fourth industrial revolution, creativity will be completely taken over by artificial intelligence. So we don't know what will happen. Okay, 1 second. And I really don't know. I told you, I'm not I cannot judge whether it is good or bad. It is very difficult for me to judge, because actually we cannot only philosophize. Okay, we cannot make judgment. Just I'm telling. Just only an introduction of a problem I have shown.
Thank you very much for your good and kind attention in my lecture. There are almost 9 questions related to my presentation. First, I am highly thankful to Avinash ji that related to Islam and Sufism, and he mentioned, remind the name of Darashuko. And Darashuko was very egalitarian Muslims who translated Upanishad, 32 Upanishads, so far as I know, 32 Upanishads he translated, even Jagavasishta he translated, and he interpreted Islam in new angle. That was the reactionary movement of the egalitarian people. So he laid much more emphasis, technical term, and apprehension is highly needed in Sufism, and that is called राज क्या है, apprehension. आपने इकबाल ने कहा, खुदी को इतना बुलंद करो जैसे खुदा तुमको पूछे तुम्हारा राज क्या है. खुदी means that is myself, nothing, myself, that is higher category, and faded away. You shall not confine to phenomenal aspect. You also elevate, gradually start your journey from phenomenal aspect to non-phenomenal aspect. That's why allegorical system is there, that is how far barish, rain, until it is falling on the sea or water, it is rain. When rain falling in the sea, can we divide it? इसलिए कबीर ने कहा था, जब मैं था तब होरी नहीं, अब होरी है लेकिन मैं नहीं. It is called fanafillah or baqabillah, annihilation. That's Mansur al-Hallas very nicely spoke about it. An al-Haq, I am the supreme reality. That's like, so aham brahmasmi, like Hinduism. So it is the aspect, 2 aspects also. And Ramaji also, philosophy of love, who is going to preach philosophy of love. It is, I think we will be honest here. Most of the scholars, non-Muslim scholars, they think it is the responsibility of the Muslim people only. But it will be good if a Muslim will preach Hinduism, a Christian will preach Hinduism, and a Hindu will preach Islam. Then interaction will be possible. By our intention, Christian will preach Christianity, Muslim will preach Islam, and Hindu will preach Hinduism. This is not the interaction possible. Never possible until this is in Tagore very nicely says, দেবে আর নেবে মিলাবে মিলিবে যাবে না ফিরে এই ভারতের মহামানবের সাগরের তীরে. You will give and accept at the same time. That is our India. Ayuste sarvata saha, come from every corner of the world. That's why Sangachatham, Sangbodadham, Sangbamanangshi Janotam. Let we move together, we'll think together, and we'll judge together. That is very important. That's why all human beings will preach. Religion is one, but preachers are different. Religion is one, preachers only different. So, and third speaker, Paigambar, the rank of Paigambar is Persian word, but in Islam there is Nabi and Rasul, Arabic word. The rank of Paigambar, Nabi and Rasul is much more higher than the rank of the Sufis. Sufi rank is after the Paigambar rank. So, Khatamun Nabin, there is Islamic concept. Khatamun Nabin, no Nabi will come again. So, it is the responsibility. Al-ulama warasatul umbiya, the learned people is the warasatul anbiya. That's why learned people are the hearer of Ambiya, that means Paigambar, the Rasul. So, educate people, not only Muslim educate, a Hindu can be an educated, he can preach Islamic, a Muslim can preach Hinduism, Hindu thought. Language may be different, but thought is same, reality is same, truth is same. Hindu truth and Islamic truth can have 2 plus 2 equal to 4. It is true to Hindu, true to Muslim, true to Christian and down to everybody. Same reality is same. And another Swamiji also, what will be the future of Sufism? How many Muslim in the world, that's in Wahhabis, you have given an indication literally. Yes, Wahhabis has taken Islam in much more literal way, the narrow outlook. That's why there is the controversy, and there is the tussle between the egalitarian Sufis and not only the tussle, even Wahhabis are distinct from Hanafis, they are distinct from Malikis, they are distinct from Safis. So there are some subsects related to their thinking, but basic intention, basic truth is same. They have no separate Quran, only one Quran. Interpretation is different. Different interpretation. Islam has given the guarantee, and Islam has given the freedom to all scholars. You can interpret in your own way in the scientific outlook. Another, just I am going to conclude within 2 minutes because many questions. So emotional presentation, my friend is said. By presentation, yes, it starts with emotion and thinking also. If you made injustice, if you will not think over it. So tradition is different. You are saying the Hindu is polytheistic tradition generally. I think Upanishad is monotheistic also. So Hindu not only polytheism, it will be injustice if you think. Hinduism is polytheistic, monotheistic and henotheistic also. Therefore, and Islam is rigid monotheistic. And I think Hinduism is much more liberal than Islam, in the sense that as an atheist you can be counted as a Hindu, but as a kafir you will never be counted as Muslims. So it is scientific, and therefore is there be a critical agreement, songs and poetry. Yes, in Islam there is no hadith that against of songs and poetry. Many Muslims, they are very good poet, and poet Hanzala was very famous poet during the period of the Prophet Hazrat Muhammad. But Islam never disliked it. Rumi was a very great poet of the world, familiar. Hafiz also, Firdausi also, and songs. And now Sufi songs is very popular everywhere, in Tollywood, in Bollywood, in Hollywood, everywhere Sufi song is needed. So therefore, there is no Quran, there is no indication in the Holy Quran, neither in the Hadith. Rather, when Prophet migrated from Makkah to Medina, then ladies of Medina, they were welcoming in singing the song. After when Prophet reached there, they stopped with daf. Then Prophet said, no, let them do it. So, but Orthodox people, yes, Prophet at the time said, vulgarative songs is strictly prohibited in Islam. But a spiritual song, that's why Qawwali, Sama is important. And another, just last, it is methodological step in Sufism. Yes, in Sufism there are many methodological steps. Due to the paucity of time, I have skipped that side. That is zikr and fikr is very important. Zikr, that's why there are successive stage, mushahada, mujahada, and there are also zikr and fikr. That's why kul in kuntum tuhibbunal, that is the muhabbat, and the zikr, fajkuruni ajkurkum. Zikr and plural is ajkar. Fajkuruni ajkurkum. God is saying in the Holy Quran, verse 2. That's why fajkuruni ajkurkum. If you remember me, I will remember you. Fajkuruni ajkurukum. So zikr is the namaz or salat. As-salatu afzalu zikri. So not only touch your forehead, but at the same time touch your mind during your prayer and cultivate it. So Sufi Islam and brotherhood of Islam, this brotherhood not only confined to Islam. That's why it is different from Islam, Sufis are saying the brotherhood means each and every people of the world. But there is the distinction only good people and bad people in Islam. Who is superior? Neither Brahman, not Kshatriya, nothing is there. Who is superior? Who is most honest? He is superior. Maybe downtrodden person. And synonymous, there is the notion of ishq is not general category of lower category of love. Ishq is higher, intense form of love. That's why in Quran it is called muhabba, asadda hubbal lillah, the intense form of love, which love annihilate myself, not my personal gratification, but the well-being of all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I invite.
Hello. 강정산수 salt is composed of composite. 간단하게 하고 바로 그것만 하고. 강정산수 salt is composed of Confucianism and Taoism and Buddhism. 그렇게 할게요. 그래서 아까 질문한 거 대답을 해드리면.
So he is going to answer in Korean and I will translate. Is that okay?
주역 2층. 예, The Book of Change. 변화의 책에서 정사는 하늘과 땅과 사람의 합일, 하모니어스를 이야기를 하셨고, 강정산이 중화경에서 조용에 대해서. 네네.
So in that specific text, 중화경 by Kang Jung-san in modern Korea, he symbolized. He has formulated his thought based on Taoism, Confucianism, and Buddhism, and but in his the text, 중화경, he commented on I Ching. Do you know I Ching, the Chinese classic book of change? So he commented on that very substantially.
천인합일에서 하늘과 땅과 사람의 조화로운 관계에 대해서 주역은 설명을 했고, 정사는 거기서 어떻게 그 구체적으로 별과 사람과 자연이 조화롭게 구성되어서 현상계를 이루고 있는가를 설명했다는 거죠.
So in I Ching itself, it talks about the I Ching talks about the harmonious synthesis of 사람과 man and the sky, the universe,
자연
and the nature. The kind of a harmonious synthesis is preached in Book of Change. But in this 중화경 by Kang Jung-san, he talks about specifically more went to a deeper level into the nature. So he talks about the synthesis with the stars. So that's what he talks about astrology.
예를 들어서 이제 뭐 불교 화엄사상하고 유사한데 사람이 어떤 특정 행위나 특정 마음을 먹으면 그 까르마가 어떻게 구성되느냐 드러나는 게 별자리의 빛깔에서 드러난다.
Oh, so it is like a very based on Buddhist karmic theory that whatever you perceive in your mind, bad thoughts or good thoughts, will be reflected on the colors of your own stars.
특정 개인의 마음이 굉장히 밝아졌을 때는 그 사람과 관련되는 별의 빛깔이 달라집니다.
So when your mind gets brighter, the stars, the colors will be brighter.
특정 민족이 특정 민족을 침략하려는 그런 마음들이 중첩돼서 응집이 되면 그게 어떤 특정한 빛깔로 드러나는 그런 하나의 예들을.
I see. Also, the Kang Jung-san talks about like when one ethnic group invades the other groups to break a war, then it will show a signs of changes in stars' color.
그래서 이제 결론을 말씀드리면,
so in conclusion,
불교에서는 이제 프라티테 삼타파다에 대한 개념이 들어가 있는 거죠. 정서는 이제 유교에 대한 어떤 주의적 설명과 도교적 설명과 불교적 설명이 들어가 있는데 이제 프라티테 삼타파다를 한 예로 설명한 게 어떤 그 곤충이나 식물이나 별의 빛깔이나 모든 자연상을 잘 살펴보면 그 민족이나 국가나 개인의 마음들이 어떻게 투영되는 걸 알 수 있다는 겁니다. 근데 그거를 총체적으로 다 볼 수 있는 사람이 최고의 수행이 되죠.
I see. So Professor Kang's theory is the Kang Jung-san's theory. The reflects the kind of based on Buddhist pratitya samutpada, the dependent origination. So everything is interconnected. It's not exactly early Buddhist causality theory, but in Hawaiian thought, everything is dependent on each other. So the person's mind and in the society and the universe and the natural world are all interconnected. That's what he is trying to say.
마지막으로 물질계하고 이 정신계가 둘이 아니라 하나의 현상으로 보라.
So the natural world and this spiritual world is not two; it's all connected.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for. Now I invite Professor Jatasankar Tiwari to give his comment. Maybe.
The permitted time for this session was up to 4:30, and I came to the mic at 4:29. So I will take not more than 3-4 minutes because talking less is my habit. So we have listened to 3 very good papers by 3 good scholars and on different topics, but certainly there was a common thread in all those presentations, and that common point, as I observed, was that all the presenters and their presentation, it was associated with the main theme of this session, that is holistic thought, holistic thinking, and we can give different interpretations to this holistic thinking as well. We have heard many scholars, and there are differences in the basic concept of what holistic thinking would mean. Dr. Tandon is here. We were discussing in the room where we are residing together. So there may be different shades of holistic thinking, but this basic thought is present in all these presentations. That is one common. The first presentation, Dr. Matthew has given many new concepts for me. I don't know about other friends, but for me he has given some new concepts which give us some homework to do. So we will work on these ideas. But it is a kind of expression of a kind of worry for the future of humanity and for the future of human race. That is holistic thinking. The second presenter, and very interesting paper, as the House recognized, there were many questions, and actually Sufism is an area of Islamic philosophy which provokes every reader to read and to say something. And when he was speaking on Sufism, I was again, as usual, it has become my habit. In the earlier session also I was just drawn back in my memories of classroom. Another teacher of mine, Professor R.S. Bhatnagar, he taught us Islamic philosophy in postgraduate classes, and he was a great Sufi scholar. He was a learned scholar of Persian, and he mentioned so many things, and he taught us so many things which unfortunately we could not reproduce and present in our classrooms because of the lack of language of Persian and Arabic language. That knowledge was lacking, But I have taught, as Professor Sirajul Islam told, a Hindu teaches Islamic philosophy, so I can claim and I can say that I have taught for many years Islamic philosophy in my PG to my PG students, and especially the philosophy of Iqbal. And his 6 lectures on reconstruction of Islamic thought. This was a beautiful example of unification of the minor differences of religious and cultural thoughts, and this also leads towards that holistic view and holistic vision of entire human being. And the third presentation, it was difficult for me, but the first reaction came to my mind that when the title says symbolized by trigram. So the word symbolized, that reminds me, this symbolization is a process of understanding what philosophy is. And Professor K.C. Bhattacharya has defined entire philosophy is systematic symbolism. So this kind of symbolism is a good method of understanding real philosophy, though the meaning of symbolization and symbolism is different in that context. By symbolization, he means to withdraw from the gross facts towards some subtle reality. And ultimate symbolization, we reach to the truth which has no form. So it was a pleasant occasion for me to chair this session, and I really thank the organizers to give me a chance to listen carefully. We hear the lectures in other sessions as well, but when you are in chair, you will have to be more cautious and careful. So that is why I thank them to give me a chance to listen to three scholars carefully. Thank you.
Now I request Professor Tiwari to felicitate the speaker, Professor Matthew. Thank you very much. Very good. Then Professor Sirajul. Certificate.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now the session is over. Everybody invited for tea. Then we will meet again.